Aladdin 2019. This very ancient tale may have originated in China before spreading through the Middle East as Aladdin. It was added to the French version of the Arabian Nights by Antoine Galland in the 18th century, he having heard the story from a Syrian in Aleppo. In the tale, Aladdin finds an old oil lamp, rubs it, and is given 3 wishes by a kindly genie.
Mike Brown and his bullying pals saw Aladdin approaching down the school corridor. "Here he comes, Aladdin Green. What a stupid name. Where's your carpet then, Aladdin? Smart boy, are you? Bit of an high flyer, are you? Where are the other lads in green then? Can you fly? Come on, we can help you fly." It all started on his first day at upper school. After a few days, the bigger boys started nudging him, then pushing him and tripping him up. Aladdin became adept at falling in a soft little heap, and the girls just giggled at him. "I wish I had a normal name," he thought. Aladdin's parents ran a very unsuccessful Oriental rug shop in Leeds. His gran lived in a small flat above the shop. Grandma's name was Teresa Wood. As a young woman, suitors, bold, stern and proud, came but soon went. She felled them one by one, like a man wielding a double-headed Viking axe. Then, one day, Isa Green, the family optician, made her see life in a new light, and she became Teresa Green, and that's how the family tradition for odd names stuck. But Grandma Teresa became increasingly confused and spent most of her later years laying in bed, mumbling to herself. Aladdin liked to go and sit with her. He tried to understand her, but her words were hard to catch. Some words were repeated and sounded something like Tahiti, Ayers Rock, perhaps the moon. Aladdin had always loved his grandmother and her secret smile, the one she saved just for him and his daft name. His parents' rug store was one place he could escape from the taunts and cruel giggles he had to endure at school. The rugs were piled high, and the cushion racks provided cover for a lonely boy, playing imaginary adventure games against invisible adversaries, ones that didn't make fun of his name. But on this occasion, the local bully-in-chief, Mike Brown, accompanied by some equally unpleasant friends, had followed Aladdin back from school and into his parents' store. "Here, Aladdin! What's all this rubbish, then? I reckon these carpets look silly on those shelves. They should be on the floor, don't you think? And these weird cushions, too." Aladdin looked on, half frightened, half annoyed, and all helpless, as Mike Brown showed off to his friends. Between them, they tore most things from the shelves, making as much of a mess as they could before leaving, just as Aladdin's mum walked through the door. "I can't hear you, and I'm not listening to you." She refused to hear Aladdin's excuses. She said he would not be eating another meal at home until he tidied up the store properly. Aladdin started folding and stacking the heavy rugs, but got rather distracted by something hard underneath one of them. It looked something like a small, very old brass lamp. He rubbed it with the sleeve of his woolly jumper, in accordance with what he thought was an ancient tradition. Promptly, nothing at all happened. So he tried rubbing it again, this time more firmly. A great puff of smoke burst from the spout, with a low but long whoosh sound, as even more smoke emerged. He thought he was about to set fire to the whole collection. Quick as a Leeds schoolboy can be, he grabbed the fire extinguisher, glanced at the label, hit the button, pulled the trigger, and began spraying white foam around the storeroom. He soon realized that he had overreacted, this being a rare case of smoke without fire. He also discovered that due to the lack of an off switch, he could not extinguish the extinguisher. So the sticky white foam continued to spew from the black nozzle, and soon the carpets, the cushions, the walls, the floor, and most alarmingly, the genie that had appeared from inside the tiny oil lamp. The genie wore a dark blue boiler suit, now splattered in white foam, a yellow safety helmet, and huge steel-tipped work boots. Several pencils stuck out of one top pocket, and a folding wooden ruler poked out of the other. He was also standing firmly on the floorboards, not floating, as Aladdin assumed he should be.
What's that? What's going on here?
Gasped the genie, wiping foam from his thick black moustache.
What's going on? Why are you spurting that white stuff all over me?
I'm sorry, said Aladdin. As Aladdin apologized, the extinguisher spluttered out of foam like a tired old firework. The genie wiped his face and sat down.
He looked around and said, "Well, it's now to me, not really, pal. I've been cooped up in that lamp for ages. It were getting on me wick, so it's hard for getting me out." Right, what year is this then?
2019.
2109? That's not a year. It's a time of day. Anyway, let me introduce myself. I am the genie of the lamp.
You don't speak like a genie.
So, an expert on genie diction, are you? What's your name, anyway?
I'm Aladdin. Aladdin Green.
Oh, great name you got there, kid. Have you made any parents yet?
No, I haven't. You're not dressed like a genie, and you don't sound like one either.
So, you're an expert on genie diction and genie fashion, are you, Aladdin Green? These are me working clothes. Granting wishes can be dangerous. Dirty work sometimes. You wouldn't believe the things some people ask for.
Aladdin thought for a moment. Anyway, I thought genies floated in the air.
Oh, I'm so sorry for standing on the floor like a normal person. If I wear out the floorboards, you can wish them back again.
Can you really cast spells?
You're asking me, the greatest genie in the known world for more than 1,000 years, and you ask me if I can cast spells?
You can't, can you?
No. If I could cast spells, I'd give myself 3 wishes. Hocus pocus, give me 3 wishes. There, didn't work, did it?
Aladdin gulped. But you can grant me some wishes.
Grant wishes? You ask me, over 1,000-year-old, and the greatest genie in the known...
We've been through that. I bet you could grant wishes if you were dressed like a proper genie, said Aladdin. The genie gave a weary sigh.
Oh, I blame that Walt Disney.
So can you grant wishes? Please say you can.
You can, said the obedient genie. I suppose you'd expecting 3 for rescuing me.
Well, yes, that would be great, of course.
I thought you'd say that.
I wish you'd let me start wishing, Aladdin said, before adding hurriedly, "Wait, that's not my first wish." The genie took some paper and a pencil out of a pocket in his overalls.
"You've got to sign this disclaimer first."
Aladdin scribbled his name without a glance at the small print. The genie stuffed it away in his pocket.
"Right. Now then, what's your first wish, young man? You won't take all day, will you?"
Aladdin thought quickly. Well, the first thing is to clear up this room. It's a right mess, and my mum won't let me have anything to eat until it's tidy again. So, for my first wish, can you make the shop all neat and tidy, please?
"That's no good," said the genie. "It don't work like that. What you got to say is, I wish da-de-da. Okay, try again."
Oh, I see. Okay. I wish this room was clean and tidy and back how it's supposed to look.
Right. You go and stand in the corner over there, face the wall and shut your eyes tight. "No peeking now," said the genie.
Aladdin did as he was told and waited for a while. Nothing much seemed to happen, apart from a few swishing noises. The genie said,
"Okay, you can open your eyes again now and have a look."
Aladdin looked around the room. Every carpet was neatly rolled and stacked. All the cushions were displayed in a fairly colour-coordinated way around the shelves, and best of all, the fire extinguisher was back in its bracket with the little dial showing green for full. There was no white foam to be seen, and although the genie's overalls were once again grubby, they were completely foam-free.
"Okay then, Aladdin. Happy now? Let's keep going. What's wish number 2?
Don't rush me. I need time to think."
"Say, I wish I had more time to think then.
No, you can't catch me out like that.
The genie raised a bushy eyebrow. Oh, this kid's smart, but then again it'd have to be with a name like that. He may be a little green, but he's not quite as daft as he looks. Mind you, who could be? Go on then. I'll go to the loo while you think.
There's one down that corridor. Don't rush. You take your time, Aladdin said, thinking hard about his next wish.
10 minutes later, a very relieved-looking genie returned. Are you ready now? Come on, chop chop. Hurry up, I ain't got all day, you know.
Yes, I've decided, said Aladdin. Here it is. I wish I had an ordinary name.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can relate to that one. Hang on. Don't go away.
As the genie disappeared, Aladdin felt a strange, moving sensation wash over him. A shimmering sense that the world was moving around him, and his clothes were floating in the air a few yards behind him. Then the genie was back, and they were both still fully clothed.
That's that then,
the genie said.
What's your last wish?
Do you mean I have an ordinary name now?
You have a new name.
How can I tell?
Arise, Aladdin Blue.
The genie bowed and flourished his safety helmet.
Oh no, that's even worse. How did you come up with the name Aladdin Blue? Oh, you're mad, you. I thought you'd be happy with Aladdin Blue.
Well, I'm not. I'm not happy at all. In fact, I'm quite blue. The genie sat down on a pile of neatly stacked rugs.
I was only kidding, love. You'll be Alan Green from now on. I even updated your Facebook page. I'm your new Facebook friend, too. One wish left. What's it going to be?
Aladdin, or was it Alan Green, felt like a new person. So different to his previous self that he found it rather difficult to think of a last wish that would help him with the boys and girls at school. And then he had a better idea. Well, said Alan, my grandma is very ill, and I wonder if my last wish can be for her to feel better again. Can you do something for her with my last wish? The genie would have stopped in his tracks if he'd left any. He took off his yellow safety helmet and held it to his substantial chest. His big face softened as he looked directly at Alan and said,
Do you know, I've been in this wishing business for over 1,000 years, pal, and you are the very first person ever to think about using a precious wish for someone else. I'm really impressed with you, Alan. You're a very special person, you are. I'll do whatever I can to help you, Gran. I can't make her live forever, but I'll see what I can do about her health. Are you ready for this last wish, then?
Alan took great care as he chose his words for his final wish. Once more he got that strange, shifting without moving feeling. But this time the genie said,
That's all done now, Alan, my boy. Good luck with everything. I won't be back, but I won't forget you.
Then, with a thin wisp of smoke, the genie disappeared back into the lamp, leaving his yellow safety helmet rolling around on the floor. Alan stood there thoughtfully, quite prepared to believe that he had been, or indeed still was, dreaming, were it not for the helmet and the tidy shop. After a few moments, his mother ran in, red in the face, eyes wide, hair a mess. She looked quite normal, but she was yelling at the top of her voice, Alan, Alan, come quick! Your grandma's woken up! Wow, this room looks neat. Quick, hurry up, she's asking for you. Alan, he thought. She called me Alan. It was real, not a dream. Mother and son rushed together up the stairs to find his grandma sitting up in bed, looking well and alert. There you are, Alan. Come and give Grandma a big hug. Ooh, I could kill for a gin and tonic. Grandma enveloped Alan in her thin, long arms, kissing his cheeks over and over. Several hugs and miles of smiles later, after everyone had stopped shaking, laughing and crying, peace and quiet returned to the Rug Emporium. When Alan's parents went downstairs to make some herbal tea, the newly renamed Alan and his wide-awake Grandma Teresa sat together. "Grandma," Alan said, "you've been talking in your sleep, going on about Tahiti and Ayers Rock and the moon, I think. How do you know about those places?" She smiled and winked. "I've been to them, and to loads of other places too. And I think you know how I got there, don't you, Alan?" Alan grinned back. "And I think you know how you got better, don't you, Grandma?" They both laughed. "Weren't we ingenious?" Alan said. "Yes, dear, we were ever so ingenious." "And you're right, Alan. I know why I feel so much better so suddenly. You used a wish for me, didn't you? Thank you. You're a very special boy, you are. A very special boy indeed. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much." When Alan strode into school the next day, he seemed 2 inches taller. Mike Brown was too busy with his silly friends to bother with him. Later on that day, at lunch, a pretty girl in his class, Anne, walked over and sat next to him. She looked at him and asked if he would help her with her homework. Alan felt sure he could.
Aladdin 2020 was written by Geoff and Audrey Reiss, performed by Owen Shaw, with music by Fran Wyburn, and edited by Ruth Mark.